Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is Chizi Nyomasla. Chizi Nyomasla is a regular on Open Conversation. He's a political analyst. He's a state executive council member of APC and he's also the leader of ICU Group. Good morning, Chizi, and welcome.
Good morning, Orisha. Good morning, Nigerians.
And on to the story. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has expressed confidence that Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara and members of the Assembly will honor the peace agreements brokered by President Bola Tinubu to resolve the state's political crisis. Speaking in Abuja after inspecting projects, Wike praised Tinubu's intervention, describing the president as a unifying father figure whose counsel should be respected. He confirmed a meeting at the presidential villa involving Fubara, the Assembly Speaker, and state elders, adding that the truce should end recurring tensions. As part of the agreement, Fubara is expected to submit a list of commissioner nominees to the Assembly this week. Wike thanked the president for restoring calm, stressing that stability and progress must now take priority for Rivers State. Chizi, what is your take on this?
Well, let me thank God for momentary peace.
Momentary?
Yes, because even though we will not depend on the history, but the history has made me to be a little bit economical with that word, because I have seen agreement even by the president being not adhered to. I've seen that. I've seen points. I've seen agreement written down and shown to us, and I've seen all that. So I just pray that what the minister is saying, I also pray that the governor should see this as an opportunity to make things right. We are speaking as a human being, and of course, if you are coming out from a meeting, the only thing that is natural is for you to be optimistic about the outcome of the meeting. Everything that happens thereafter is only human, that can happen. Of course, Wike also has his limit as human. The question will be, if you look at when you were going to the rider, you included the fact that part of the agreement was to submit
commissioner nominees
within the week. The first question I would like to ask is, did you have to meet with the president to be able to submit your commissionership list? The answer is no. Did you have to meet with the president to submit your budget? The answer is no. Now, if there were things, if those are the things that we are, of course, at the public glare, those are the things that we have seen. If you have fulfilled all of that, some of us would have been interrogating the essence of the disagreements in the first place. It would have been personal. If you had done all of this, it would have been, oh, what is it? There would have been something extra that we needed to know. Right now, you have not done the needful. It looks like you are being reminded to do what is constitutionally right. Do you understand that? And so, but again, if the man wakes up while he was coming as governor, was he not tutored? Did he also not know? Because you don't even need to be tutored to know that you need to submit your commissionership list. You don't need to be tutored to know that there is a level of a fraction that the list of the commissioners must be before you can meet as executive council. Right? If things are not there, that you need to resubmit your list, it doesn't matter who is in the assembly. It does not just matter. Now, whether your enemies are all in the assembly, I have made this reference before, and I said in 1992 in Lagos State, we had an NRC governor with dominance of SDP legislators. And there was nothing, the man who submit this thing, he said, and I quote him, he said, that's Michael or Total or something, he said, I am submitting to Lagos State Assembly, not to SDP, not to NRC. These are, fulfill your pact. When you have fulfilled your pact, all of us begin to interpret, interrogate or question the intents of the other people. Why are you not? Because of course, the fact that you have submitted the commissionership list does not mean that it's an automatic approval, they also have to go through screening. So would I say if you, for instance, if I go for screening and you say I'm not going to, that I didn't succeed in screening, you will have to tell us what is it that I didn't provide or I'm not qualified for. You understand? Mm-hmm. The Constitution did not also allow them that, like what it did in impeachment, where the definition of gross misconduct is within them. The Constitution in this screening allows them to let us know why these persons are not qualified. Mm-hmm. They have age, they have educational background, and they have competence and all of that. Because for us, do the needful. And we're just saying that going forward, that, you know, assuming without considering that Fubara is not even going back in 2027. And I said, when we gave him our mandate, we gave him a 4-year mandate. So that wouldn't be an excuse to say that I'm going to go back or no. That's the reason why I'm not going to do that. So well, we are interrogating the one we have given, the mandate we have given him. So assuming that the only time he has now is between now and May 29, 2027, we're expecting that going forward, that we should see governance. We should see things done within legal framework. We should. I'm also advising that, in spite of the simile, because there's an advantage in having disagreement. There's also a disadvantage in having disagreement. Mm-hmm. Now, if you are low in thinking, the disadvantage in having disagreement is that sometimes you don't want to do the right things so there won't be disagreement. You know, so I just don't want us to get into that. That means that the right thing, including the assembly cannot say, okay, because the president has come in, so if Fubara decides not to do the right thing, or if the assembly decides not to do it, Fubara should swallow it hook, line, and sinker. No, I don't expect that, because some of us also begin to interrogate them. Don't forget that I have said, and I stand by it, that the assembly, they started explaining. You know, one time I said the assembly will come to explain to us why they have to stop this. But some of us have also told them that you are going to explain more. You know, you are going to explain more, because we are asking them questions. I have raised 12 questions to the assembly. I've written them. 12 questions that I want to know. Please tell us this, because you have to answer it. We can't sweep this and this under the carpet. So why are you? Because if you feel that the governor is accountable to us through you, you also are accountable to us directly. Is that correct? Because they are our representatives, so they need to tell us. So the fact that we have peace, we pray for peace. I'm optimistic about what is going to happen. And of course, don't forget that we are already in mass with the transition period, because all the political parties this year will have to conduct their convention internal to rearrange their executives. And then a governor is a political head and economic and policy. So you will also be involved in the politics, except that you can say for a peace accord. No, you can't sacrifice Rivers State.
The interest of the Rivers.
The interest of the Rivers people. That's not the way they present, because they are all.
In fact, that was your first statement, that is temporal. It's been ringing in my head. forward? Are you expecting a breakdown of this?
Say that on two ways, if you look at the trajectory, what has happened in the past, you will, and always the minister have always come out to say, well, we believe something was going to happen, and just after like 1 month or two. So if you allow me use that to judge what is going to happen today, I might not be wrong. Now again, they are all human. There is no perfect relationship. So I would like to say that now that we are just enjoying, I call it temporal peace. We are human, and in human, there is disagreement and agreement. The only thing I want all of us to come up to is to put Rivers' interest at the center of the entire disagreement. Okay. That's where the sacrifice should come. Yeah. If not, all that we have here, both as a person, is temporal rest. Whatever we have is temporal. So I still look at that from that dimension.
Right, very well. Moving forward, Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara has dissolved the State Executive Council with immediate effect, marking a major shake-up in the state's executive arm. All commissioners and special advisors have been directed to hand over to permanent secretaries or to the most senior officers in their respective ministries, pending further directives. Governor Fubara thanked the outgoing council members for their service and wished them well in their future endeavors, according to a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Onwuka Nzeshi. Chizi, now, in line with that agreement, the governor is putting the first foot forward. Yes, he has agreed to present commissioner nominees. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I am unaware, that the governor has presented commissioner nominees. However, in line, with that discussion, he has dissolved his state executive council. What do you have to say to that?
Yes, it's part of the governance framework, that the governor can do that. The governor has that right to so do. But let me say it in 3 dimensions. If I was the governor, I would not dissolve the one already
existing,
screened by
the Martins
Amegule slate. I will not. All I will do is to fill in,
bring fresh commissioner nominees for the empty positions.
All right. Probably restructure them, change their ministries, including the new ones. Because one of these people may come back. Now, why do I say so? I say so because, yes, I'm no longer talking about Fubara now. It's no longer about Wike. It's no longer about even Rivers State. It's about what I call, the trust burden. Now, there's something about working with you and because of one agreement or the other, sacrifice me on the altar of that agreement, even though I was duly screened by them. If all of that happened to us, what would be the effect of that? The effect of that is that no matter how sacrificial or how loyal that person, or even the person will begin to have this trust.
There'll be trust deficits between
and those people.
That you threw them on.
So anything might happen tomorrow. That, in fact, is what brings. That's part of the root of corruption. Boy, let me hold this. So this man might just throw me out any day. You understand that? That also. So for me, what I would have said is, okay, sir. While we were here, after all, I wasn't thrown out as governor. Part of this agreement is that some persons followed the other place, some persons stayed with me. Those who were screened, not those that were screened by Okojombo, those who were screened by Martins Amehule, I will retain them. I will keep them. Except I find out maybe certain lack of productivity. That will be on a personal destiny, but not because of agreement. What sense out there is that I can't be with you. I can't work with you. It's a very serious thing. But again, it's been done. I like to also advise that going forward that, you see, there is political dimension to nomination. Whether I tell people that in democratic system there is no appointment, you may be shocked. I said that because people say no, this was an appointed people, the other one is elected, and I said all the political appointees are elected. You know why I said they're elected? Because the same way some of them work to be a member of the House of Assembly, some of us are also working to be somewhere in politics, either by appointment. So it's by the result of our work. So having said that, so I like to advise the governor, if I'm sitting, that look, okay, there is the constitutional provision that says that at least you must have one commissioner from each of the local government. Now, for me, if I was the governor, what I would have done is I tell my Oga and everybody who is involved, because you cannot, the reason why you have people to nominate certain persons is because you wouldn't know everybody, right? So what I would have said is, I will state out my criteria. Not name, not gender, right? My criteria is this person's, apart from the constitutional requirement, this person must be creative. This person will be too. I'm just saying that part of it.
The qualities that expect their
appointees to have. Now that is in spite of anybody. That means that even you, when you are doing your politics around there, right, you will know that for you to now nominate Lauretia or Chizzy should have had this quality, if not all, at least 80% of that quality. That's the kind of things I will do. So I'm looking at the university because we should look at we're in transition, so that even the commissioners that will be coming will not be distracted by the politics of the now. Because we need to, it's like we need to cope with certain governance, you know, in River State. So you need people who has the creative mindset to work under emergency, to be able to, River State should be declared, we're in a state of emergency, I can tell you that. So we need to really catch up. After all,
state of emergency.
What I mean,
I understand what you mean.
Yes.
What area? Governance, economy. What area? Security.
Security, governance, and economy. I call it policies.
Right.
Yeah. So we need to look at that. We need to be very, very creative. See, don't forget that you may begin to have issues with the private sector involvement in governance right now. Do you understand? You may begin to have issues with the private sector, with the commissioners coming, because they also need to learn one or two ropes, you know, in that thing, in memo writings and all of those things before they can begin to. So you need to jumpstart it. You need people who are creative, people who can do certain things.
Who are cerebral.
Who are cerebral, you know. Well, in using the word cerebral, you know, when you use cerebral, it means that the person knows, you know, things around there. Even if the person knows just information, I'm just using that. But the person knows how to even communicate very well, you know, so that a commissioner for information will not be a press secretary. We understand that there's a difference between a press secretary and a commissioner for information. You know, the press secretary will say what his boss says he should say. But the commissioner for information will be among those who will cook the policy.
And the image maker.
And the image maker, you know, he will be among those who will
damage control.
Not even just damage.
And all of that.
So he will be in
between the government and the people.
Yeah, the first people the Commissioner for Information should inform is the cabinet. You know, that's why he's a member of the cabinet. You know, like, oh God, this one will have problem with the people first. You know, there. So you should have that person that has that robust capacity to be able to do that. I'm just using that as an example. Because the private sector, like I said, private sectors, who would want to invest right now? You know, who would want to invest because it's no longer stable. And then again, they are coming in well. So it looks like 80% of whatever they are going to do is going to come from the traditional revenue allocation, which for me is not the governance. It's not what we're looking at. What we're looking at is how FDIs, you know, even FDIs and other things. But right now, they have their intelligence. You understand? They have the intelligence. They don't understand what this will happen. So things will be on a short time. But again, in a short time, there are short-time measures that you will create that will begin to attract certain things, including politics.
All right. Now, two angles you spoke about. First concern that you raised was about the danger in the governor's decision to dissolve his state cabinet, particularly the people that were screened by the authentic River State House of Assembly before the crisis. That was Martin Samewele. And you said that will it will create trust deficits between the governor and incoming cabinet members, even if some of those people will be returned.
Yeah.
Now the question will be, if some of those people are going to be returned, what was the need to sack them in the first instance? Because why did they have to go through the same screening that they have gone through by the same people in the first instance? I'm trying to make it make sense to me. And when you talked about that, you know, I remembered the other time that the crisis was brokered, and the people that supported the governor the most, being the women that were changing T-shirts every day and protesting on the streets of Port Harcourt, were the first people to receive the hammer from the governor during a public outing where he had to tell them, albeit in a very strongly worded language, to stop protesting and all of that. Now, one would say the governor has his own way of doing things. And despite all that happened, yes, the momentum died down, but the people who still, the Aboriginal supporters of the governor, they are still there. Despite this, it did not affect that trust between the governor and the people that aboriginally loved him and supported him.
No, it did. Now let me.
It did?
I know. Okay. I'm not thinking.
All right.
Now let me say it. You see, if I was the governor, yes, I was going to the same thing he did, but in a different way.
What would you have done differently?
No, what I would have done differently is, you know, there is a way. You see, communication is important. For instance, go out from here. It's still the same thing as in get out.
The reactions will be different.
The different. The get out is a more harsher word than can you go out. It's the same thing. So if you say, look, guys, we have met, we have talked, we are all one now. Let us not begin to, you know, put tension in this. The let us calm down. We are all going to work together. We'll find a way. All of us will work together. It's not the same thing as I don't want to hear anything about this again. That's not the same thing again.
All right.
No, you know. So how you market thing is different. You see, I told you that I was working in. I was in somewhere. I don't want to mention the place, and I was executive assistant to the president, and his friends, quote unquote, came to my office. You know, because my office is just by his office, seeking to see him. And you know, when friends comes, you know that there is this, what would I say, body language. I just know these are his friends, you know. So they came relaxed, want to see, and they called him. They didn't even call him by his office. They called him by his name. So I knew that those were his friends. So I moved out to tell him that his friends, and I mentioned their names, and I said, "Sir, these people are here." He categorically told me, I don't want to see them. And let me tell you, if they meet me here, I will sack you. Categorically. Now, do you expect me to go there to say, he does not want to see you? It is incumbent on me to manage that, his reaction. I only went there. I said, sir, I met him. He's a little bit busy. Of course, they should understand that he's working. And I said, do you need a tea or something? And they stayed for like 30 minutes. And I went back there, I came back. I said, Oga, using our language, so I said, I'll go, like, maybe like in the evening, we'll see, because that thing I saw there, I couldn't even reach him again. That thing I saw there. They left. I did the same thing in a different language. The same thing he didn't want to do.
Different approach.
In different approach. But you know, 2 days after or 3 days after, we went in a social gathering, and those his class of friends were there, and they met him. Of course, he couldn't. They met him there, and I was there. And I said, boy, we came to your office the other day, we couldn't see you. He said, no. What do you mean by that? He said, we came to your office and we didn't meet you. He said, yeah, boy, if he came to meet us. And my guy looked at me and said, you are very stupid. My friends came to see me and you didn't let them meet me. I don't know. My friends came to see me. And I said, sir, you remember you were busy. I couldn't. So you would have whispered it. Now look at that scenario. Look at those scenarios. Meaning, if I had gone there to tell those people, he doesn't want to see you. Those people say, oh, you even insulted us by telling your boy to do all that. And of course, so, maybe he doesn't know, never can tell. Those people also have put in a pressure on him to sack me. So either way, I would have been sacked, right? But I have to communicate it in another way. That's the reason why when you begin to manage certain things in government, you need to manage government in such a way, especially language. Like I said, you said something, I'm coming back to that. You did say that that it didn't affect their distance. You see, what we don't understand is when somebody is in power, right? It looks like he can say get away and get away with that. That's because 90% of those persons, 98, I was a little bit economical using 98. I only use 98 because I am human. 98% of those persons who quote unquote were for FOBA were those who didn't have of them were together. Who don't have opportunity because they didn't play. You know, in politics there are categories of play of activities. They didn't play to that level, so it looks like the offset of these other persons created opportunity for them to climb up. So even if you have said that momentarily they wait, and then after you to see that there's a lacuna again, they will fill in the gap because they are there. They are, so for them, these are not the people I'm even talking about the trust deficit. They know, they complain about it, they know that is not. I'm talking about those who, when we were all together, who had played to an extent either by their parents or by friends that they were nominated. Those are the people I'm talking about. Those are another category of persons. And they stayed with you, right? Because assuming they all had resigned, you wouldn't even have somebody in the cabinet in the first instance. So those are the people I'm talking about, that you have to, there's a way you manage them. Now you are now throwing them back to the vagaries of the political intricacies in their location, in their locality. That may not bring them back, or it may. That may not, or may bring them back. I don't understand. So you're throwing them back to that place. This is where you have saved them.
Shielded them.
Shielded them. And say, okay, nobody, even the president will not say no to that. Even the minister will not say no to that.
So you're thinking the governor should have been able to negotiate to protect the people that stood by him in the toughest time.
Especially those
in his cabinet, considering that a lot of cabinet members resigned during that pressure, and these were the few ones that stayed by him. So the governor should have done everything humanly possible to ensure that he shielded those people and negotiates their stay.
Continuous stay. Now, Lucia, let me even ask you, how many percentage are they? Shockingly, they are less than 30%.
Because now when all the cabinets come, to a large extent, he will not be in control of majority of the people that will form his cabinet, correct?
That's not what I'm saying.
Because I'm also looking at that. We are discussing politics, are we not? I want us to go there.
No. Okay, okay,
let's look at politics. Let
me tell you why I think he might be in control.
All right, go ahead.
Now, why I think he might be in control is the person of Yesewike. Why do I say the person? This is the aspect of Yesewike that you may not know. And that aspect is Yesewike will not nominate you and want you to disrespect your principal. Not one day. He will not do that. He will not never let. In fact, we just can demand that you be sacked because your principal thinks otherwise about you. I'm telling you about you. You see, we may, the personality of somebody may be different in public, but I can tell you that if he's going to nominate you somewhere, and he will expect that you be loyal to that person. You will expect that you be loyal. That's why I know that if he's in control, the only way I can tell you here, this is public listing, that you may not even be in complete loyal, you can be in control of what Wike is. Can I tell you something? As long as Wike is concerned, Simfoba is his first son, politically. Politically. If Sim goes to his Oga and they talk, like I tell you, if for instance, if I'm governor, you nominate, Lauricia is very influential. Lauricia nominates somebody into my cabinet, and the person is misbehaving. I will sack them, go back to Lauricia. I will be the first person to go to Lauricia, go back to Lauricia and say, Lauricia, nominate another person for me. For this person, I don't want him. You see, I didn't sack him and nominate another person. I still brought it back to you. So it is how you play your politics that will make you. So if it's on that, he will still be. But the only thing I'm saying is, these persons, I'm saying that they are now on probability list instead of automatic.
Well, if you're to go by that, and you're to go by your assertion that the governor will still be in charge of his cabinet, then one would say that if they are going to return, they are going to return, because I mean the governor is in charge.
No, that is not.
But when you say it's under probability, it's under probability, it means that it's not even in charge.
You see, Lauricia.
Yes.
We are speaking differently. We are saying different things. Now, you said whether he's going to be in charge of his cabinet, and I said yes. And then I'm talking about nomination. The process of getting into an office is different from the office. It's quite different. Now, let me tell you why I say so.
Who nominates?
Who nominates?
Yes.
Who nominates to the assembly is the governor. But
you've answered the question.
No. Let me tell you. No.
All right.
To the assembly is the governor. But bringing the president on board, that is why I told you earlier, anybody who is not in politics may think that, including the ministers. The ministers will just not come from the president. The minister is nominated between around the local intricacies. These things that brings the minister on board. But it is the government. So what I said is that if you now let them back to their local government, for instance, that's what I'm saying. At the local government front, don't forget that even when they were nominated, there were people also in line. Don't forget that. At that local thing, you will be offending and making this peace accord more temporal than I said, by also going back to that local government that is not for your local government. For instance, if all commissioners were from Andoni now, for instance, you know, the governor is not just the governor of the university, he's also the leader of Andoni. So by Andoni, he is taking that person from his own locality. That's what people understand. You see, if you go to the president, for instance, many people are nominated from their states. They are nominated. In fact, most times the governors who are powerful nominate their ministers. That's because there are certain influences. You have to meet their this thing. Whether it happens in the US, it happens everywhere in the world.
All right.
So that's where I'm talking about. But if it's control here, what I have said is, you have shielded them because they're less than 30%. They're less than 30%. And so we're looking at 27 to 28 commissioners, and we're having less than 5 commissioners. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they should have shielded them. At least they would have been give and take. Since it's a negotiation, compromise here and there. You should be able to throw your weight and protect this people.
This one, please, sir.
Yeah,
this one's I changed their ministry, but they have to be there. I don't want them to go through that process of coming. After all, we have 28 commissioners. Right? And we have 23 local government. So you have, even if it is just that one, even if they have to renominate in all their local government, you know, also have fulfilled the 23 thing. Everybody will have theirs. All
right, very well. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll go to Adamawa State, where Governor Fintiri addresses possible defection to APC. Do not go away. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Adamawa State Governor Amadu Umaru Fintiri has addressed speculations about a possible defection to the All Progressive Congress, saying his decision would be guided by the wishes of the people of the state. Speaking with journalists, Fintiri said politics is about service, not personal ambition, stressing that he would not oppose any decision supported by the majority of Adamawa residents. He dismissed rumors being pushed by what he described as political merchants acting out of fear and self-interest. The governor said his administration has earned strong grassroots support through infrastructure development and investments in human capital, adding that performance and delivery of dividends of democracy would ultimately determine his political success wherever he stands. Chizi, what do you make of, first of all, governance in Adamawa State and Fintiri's possible defection to the APC?
Well, let me go to governance first. You know, I am very shocked that today, I'm very surprised at Fintiri, because this is the first time I've seen Fintiri want to push to the public that he's performing as a person. Fintiri is one person that will say, why are you wasting your time doing that when it is there for people to see?
Okay.
My sister, I am from Rivers State. I have friends in Adamawa. If you go to Adamawa State...
Have you been to Adamawa State?
Severally.
Under Fintiri's administration?
I have been in Adamawa severally before Fintiri.
And now?
And now.
All right.
My brother, if you see the kind of... In fact, in Adamawa, you have underground flyovers. I'm telling you the truth. It's in layers. In Adamawa, you have underground. If you see the ring road, what we are trying to build now in Adamawa, that I call it map road in Adamawa. So Fintiri could have gone to, is it in educational sector? He's talking about human development. Let me even mention one to you. Do you know that in Adamawa there are about 420,000 persons that we are giving capital to start job, to start market and something in Adamawa, and some of them are paid to do that. So it will be difficult for Fintiri to go to any other party and not win. So, but one thing you should know, Fintiri, is that he's a grassroots politician. He was a member of the House of Assembly, was later a member of the House of Assembly. He was the speaker. Of course, you know, he acted as acting governor before he even became governor, when the governor was impeached. So he's been there. And so Fintiri does things by the decision of his people. The fear in Fintiri is whichever party he goes, that party. So it is the party in the national that should be seeking for Fintiri, not otherwise.
If that is the case, then what's the need to defect? I mean, his popularity should precede him, just like you see Alex Oti, despite the pressure from APC. Alex Oti is still maintaining his stand in Labour Party. And then in other states, you see people defecting from APC to Labour Party.
Yes,
but in the case of Fintiri or Adamawa State, he is saying that my people want me to join the APC. I'm trying to make it make sense to me, because if he has done so marvelously well, like you're saying, regardless of the party, it shouldn't be a problem.
Let me tell you, yes, regardless of the party, it shouldn't be a problem. But where you have a party that is engrossed in a time crisis, it is dangerous if you're not selfish. Now, Fintiri may want to contest, although after he's doing his second term, he's finishing his tenure by 2027.
His second tenure.
Yes, his second tenure.
Right.
Now, but it's not about Fintiri. Like I said, the weakest name here is a movement. Fintiri is a movement in Adamawa. It's no longer about Fintiri. It's about the people who are going to succeed in other offices. So he does not want to create a confused state. Not him. The people are saying, look at what is happening. Anything can happen around us. Now imagine what happened to us in Rivers State in 2019. Lauricia, by 2018, I wrote Right Honorable Chibike Amechi later warning the danger in 2013. I'm the subject. I was the subject then. I wrote to him, I said, this, what is happening here might end up with us not having candidates for 2019 election. Now, as a leader, if you notice such things, And people will begin to, when you come and sit down and say, what do we do? Maybe we would have had a smaller party, just like we had in the emergency situation, and then take our people here to contest election. But you know what happened? We have candidates of the assembly, candidates of the National Assembly, that is the assembly, the House of Reps, the senators, candidates, of the governorship that didn't contest. Is so painful because of those warnings. So if you begin to see what is happening in the PDP, to be honest, you understand that there is, court has declared these people this, the other court, they are going to this other court, that this thing may linger till when the submission of this thing, and it may affect them.
So they might not have candidates.
So what the people are saying, no, sir, can we go to another party? So if we need to go to another party, why can't we just go to a party that's already national, so we can click to national, and so some of us can win? So it's not about him again. It's about his people. It's about those people who are following him, because, like I said, you are only brought. Fintri is a product of peer group election. What do you mean by peer group? He has members of the assemblies. They are all friends. And in Fintri's case, it's not like an Atiku or one big man. Fintri is his friends, known friends around. Can you say, you go for the governor? Let's go for that. And Fintri has maintained those their agreements. Go here, you go there. They've been maintaining it when you go to House of Reps, the other person go to Senate, like that. And so it has come to another transition. The way we meet, supposedly to say, this is what we're looking at it. But the house at which we are standing seems like it's collapsing. It may not collapse, but we are only human. Let us know where to run to now. It is no longer him. Fintri wouldn't have done otherwise. So Fintri is somebody that can look at his friends, no matter what I said, I'm not going to this place. But for the people that, because it's a problem of agreement, for the people that have been agreeing with it, he cannot do otherwise. All this is about, the management of agreement.
If I understand what you are saying that Fintri is not running for re-election into the office of the governor.
Yes.
So it's no longer about him, but about the people who are loyal to him, his supporters, who are also seeking elective positions.
Of course.
Now you are basing your argument or your position in this matter on the fact that PDP has crisis and may not be a stable vehicle to deliver them.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Along the line, going by the court judgment, let's say Supreme Court gives judgment very close to election time.
Yeah.
And, everything falls apart, which means PDP across they are fielding candidates, you lose out of that election.
Sure.
So now, the best bet for any politician that is sure of his support base is APC.
It's not just APC.
ADC is facing court.
That's what I'm saying.
ADC has the leadership crisis.
Why I don't want to just say, we have about 18 political parties.
Okay, let me just say, you are saying that his people are pushing for APC.
Yeah, sure.
Have selected APC as a stable political vehicle.
Yes.
To transport them to their elective position.
Yes, yes.
So it is not about Fintri,
it's not
about what his people want.
Yes, sure.
Did I get you right?
Very well. It's just about.
Now in that case, why APC?
No.
Isn't APC saturated already?
No. See, now that's what I told you. I said sometimes loyalty is not by longevity, it's by impact. Now, as saturated as APC, there's the local tendency that you must recognize.
Which
you know that, for instance, if you come to Rivers State, I am not saying it because I'm in APC. If a Wike moves to ADC Rivers State and ADC is stable, ADC will win Rivers State. I don't know about Rivers State too. So in Adamawa, that is how the Fintri movement is. If Fintri movement goes to this other place, they will move there and win. So it doesn't matter the players that were there. These players have been texted from 2015 till date. They have not delivered the APC in Adamawa. So even to the APC will want more Fintri than the other people, because they have to negotiate it. Are you going to say, because part of the negotiation will be, for instance, you will not have Fintri to allow another person fit-in a governor. It has to be, because the way it works in Adamawa, Adamawa is a good example of transition and succession. You know, you can see it. You know why I tell you that? They leaked every day. And they will tell you, do this and do that. The other person will go here, the other person will go here. I have seen this thing work in 3 transitions. I don't want to mention the person's name. The person now is in House of Reps. He was here. They said, go here. They told this person, okay, why not go here? The other person should stay. This person already knows that he's going to be a member of the House in 2027 Reps. Already. So, except God said otherwise. So, in doing that, he is transiting. He could be selfish. He could be selfish. Just stay and wait. But he said no. The people are saying no, you can't do it because you only have 1 vote. We are all here. Let us work us out. So we want a stable. Now, if we need a stable party, why not just the national at once? Why are we going to play little? Because we also want you to play at the national level.
All right.
Because you know now that Tinubu will win because of his good performance. So there's no way that in the national that another party will come. So why not just go to the national and bring in your acumen into the national field? Because national is first unit before national. I hope you know. So national is a contribution of the state. So the Adamawa state will go. And you know, this weekend the president will be there to commission certain projects by Fintri.
All right, very well. Moving forward, crisis rocking the Labour Party deepened on Thursday as thugs vandalized the party's national secretariat in Abuja, cutting away vital documents shortly after a takeover by the Senator Nenadi Osman-led caretaker committee. Osman, alongside leaders of the Nigerian Labour Congress, accused former chairman Julius Abure of orchestrating the attack, following a federal high court ruling that sacked the Abure-led National Working Committee and recognized the Osman Group. They called on security agencies to arrest those responsible for the invasion. A security guard on duty alleged that he was beaten at gunpoint during the incident after refusing to open the gate, claiming Abure arrived shortly with security operatives. The party said the matter has been reported to the police, insisting that vandalism poses a serious threat to internal democracy and rule of law. All right, just when one would say Labour Party is about to have some semblance of sanity, Abure is fighting back, seriously. According to them, they are alleging that vandalization was done by Abure, you know, the Abure faction. Chizzy, what is your take on this?
You see, you know, what do I want to say? It's just to say that this party is in deep crisis. And I think the two, you know, I read some commentaries about them. And I found out that the two factions still claiming the same Supreme Court judgment.
But then a court has given
a declaratory state judgment, and these people have gone to appeal.
And INEC has gone ahead to recognize.
Oh, but
and Abure has gone on appeal.
And the Abure faction is saying that they already have secured a stay of execution. Now I see the confusion. That they have secured a state of execution. And if they have secured a state of execution, that means that what INEC is recognizing is null and void. If they have
secured the state of execution, do you think INEC would have recognized the Osman-led faction?
No, I don't know what INEC would have done.
Because so far INEC has been playing a very strict game with political parties. Recall the case of PDP.
Yeah.
What also happened? It took the courts to compel INEC to recognize the Abdulrahman-led caretaker committee, just like you see in Labour Party. So now, do you think, going by how INEC has been very careful with these political parties, that if there was a state of execution, they would have gone ahead to counter the order of the courts?
The INEC I see today wouldn't do that. But the question is, I am not the one who is claiming that there is a state of execution, right?
Yes.
I don't have that document.
Well, they didn't make that document public.
They only said
it's word of mouth.
It's word of mouth. So the question is, for instance, you said if I thought INEC could have done that if there was a state of execution.
Yes.
If the court has given a declaratory statement, judgment, and by going by that, INEC had recognized these persons before the stay of execution. So that means that INEC could have given you, for instance, if they declare you a winner of an election, INEC will give you a certificate of return. So if the court now goes back to say no, it's not you, INEC will collect that. This thing will become invalid. INEC will now issue this person.
Yes.
That is, so INEC is acting on per court.
And after the claim of stay of execution, INEC still went further to send an invitation to the Nenadi-led Osman and PDP, Abdurrahman-led PDP group sent them invites for stakeholder meeting. What does that tell you?
What it tells me is that for you to even have a stay for execution, INEC should be a party to it, to that suit, right? That means that
they will be now compelled.
They will not be compelled because that's why you bring INEC in. Now that means that somehow we might say it's not true because I can't possibly say that. Now since INEC has gone ahead to do that, given the recent character of INEC, it seems to me that there was no stay of execution. So what the Usman led this thing is, or what is now happening is political, isn't it? It's to confront it frontally with political dimension. If the guy is bringing this in, of course they say they have reported to court, to the police. The police will act based on the court verdict. And so the police have to be, because you see that's another thing. Why would they claim that their Buri-led faction came with police operatives, security operatives to come to the, they are not supposed to come there. It becomes illegal. Right? If you also had gone, I think Usman should go and visit the police with their
security operatives.
The security operatives with their papers.
Committee and their papers.
And their papers claiming so that when somebody comes in the name of labor, police will say no, you're not the labor that we know. We know the labor, so if you go there, you're hoodlum. So they also have to stand up. They won't just wait. Do you know that you can have judgment, for instance, and the judgment is somewhere, and then you are just there, and people will not know, and somebody is saying everything about the judgment, and then we get possible a faction that could.
It is the job of the police to enforce the judgment of the court.
Yes, but that is if a judgment is to their notice.
Okay.
Yes, because you didn't involve the police in that suit, so the police didn't send their legal team.
So ordinarily, the Nadi Osman is expected to pay a visit.
A visit,
possibly to the IG of police.
No, that's even where you should, to the even DSS and all of that.
And all of that.
He's supposed to pay
copies of these court judgments.
Court judgments. That's what you're not supposed to just stay in the office and expect the police to just
sort of miracle to happen.
Because you see, who is let me tell you this. Do you know there was an election that we went? Somebody was a delegate of that election. His name is Chizi Yomasla. I'm just using that. I'm using my name now.
Right.
He was standing there as Chizi Yomasla. Somebody came from somewhere and said, I am Chizi Yomasla, and gave police a paper of Chizi Yomasla. They brought the guy in. Meanwhile, the original Chizi Yomasla is outside crying, I'm Chizi Yomasla with that paper. Do you understand that? Because anybody can claim anybody. In fact, the Usman, even their body can say they are
Usman at this point.
Yes. Yes. So you need to move. You have to be proactive. You are not just the chairman to sit in the executive office as chairman. The reason why you can sit comfortably there is that you have moved around. So if you don't move, why are you sitting?
All right. Very well. And then on to PDP. People's Democratic Party has raised alarm over the Senate's insertion of an escape clause in the Electoral Act amendment, warning that it could undermine the credibility of the 2027 general elections. The clause allows manual transmission of results where electronic transmission is deemed to have failed. The opposition party faulted the Senate's decision to approve both electronic and manual transmission of results, describing it as a veiled attempt to return loopholes historically used to manipulate election outcomes. It argued that the move weakens the essence of real-time electronic transmission designed to enhance transparency. In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Ini Emobong, the PDP insisted that the same technology used successfully for voter accreditation through the beavers cannot suddenly become unreliable for transmitting results. The party also alleged that resistance within the Senate was driven by fear of technology-enabled accountability. The PDP called on the National Assembly's Conference Committee to adopt the House of Representatives version of the electoral bill, which mandates real-time electronic transmission without caveats. It urged Nigerians to remain vigilant, stressing that credible elections are vital to safeguarding the country's democratic future. Cheesy.
You know, well, I heard from a very serious member of the Senate, Dixon, you know, Senator Seraki Dixon. You know, he said, and I like the way he put it on, he said, well, that he supported the transmission, you know, without the alternative of the alternative of the manual this thing. And that's where they moved. Even at the conference, that's what they were moving. But he also admitted that in democracy, that you win in bits. You know what he means by win in bits is if you bring a proposal to the National Assembly, you will not think that your proposal will secure an 80% agreement as acceptance. Even if you are going to 100% acceptance, if you are going to accept it, people may alter it by their own wisdom. So he says when they got there that the Senate passed this one, which allow an alternative in the event that there are transmission problems. That's what they used, and that the House of Reps passed this without that alternative. Now, Losha, do you know that if you know that is correct, do you know that this bill will also go to the conference of the House of Reps and the Senate? The Senate will pass their own differently, the House of Reps will have their own differently, but that's not what is going to go to the President. What is going to go to the President is the harmonized action of both the Senate and the House of Reps. That means that there's going to be a joint National Assembly wherein the President, the Senate President will be there and the Speaker will be there. And then they will begin to argue on those items. It will become the item of difference. That's the if there's any difference in the item that you
manual transfer and electronic.
That will be the first
real-time electronic transfer.
Real-time electronic transfer. But you see, the problem here is I like the real-time electronic transfer.
Transmission.
Transmission. I like that. But you and I know that the problem here is the trust that we do not have in our people. If not, you know that sometimes even in the phone we use, even in this phone, as much as we do not want that to happen in this country, to continue to happen, we know that even in this phone that we use, that sometimes we have network problem. Is that correct? The answer is yes. So supposing again that happened in a unit, that's the question. It's just trust that, yes, we do not trust ourselves, we do not trust that the fact that all the man are written manually can be transmitted manually. But from the unit to the word and to the local government, before it goes down to the state and it's announced, you also have the duty of following your election, meaning that this network, so before the other one would have been used, it means that you've exhausted this. You know that this thing is network. If network is having a problem, you know it, you are there. Your agent is there.
Now, the question will be, before election is held, right, you have accreditation through BVAS, you have the IREF situation, all those things take network, right? How come we have to scale through that? Then after that, we are unable to transfer electronically.
Let me tell you what they do in accreditation.
No, hold on. Now, secondly, why is it that when it comes to governance, things like network issues will be a problem? I'm saying this because kidnappers that live inside forests receive calls inside forests. Hold on. Communicate inside forests. and do their video and send out to social media, all inside the bush, where these people are claiming, the political class, they are claiming that, oh, we don't have network. Make it make sense to me. So what network are these kidnappers and bandits and unknown gunmen using?
Now let me to answer that question.
Yes, please.
To answer that question, I'd like to ask you here, Dorisha, have you ever had network problem? Let's be truthful to ourselves. It's as simple as that. Have you ever had? I have received an SMS that they sent me today for 3 days. In 3 days time.
Let me ask you another question.
No, let's finish that.
How much is the budget? How much is the budget?
No.
For election this 2027. How much is the budget for the 2027 election? We have the INEC chairman proposing close to, in fact, that budget, if you approximate it, it's just shy of a trillion, just shy of. Now, you are looking at huge budget, a humongous budget of that proportion. And in that budget, INEC cannot launch an app. No, I am being realistic. INEC cannot launch an election app for real-time transmission. INEC cannot work around network and all of that. The government cannot work around that. Now, that also brings me to question the priority of the Tinubu-led administration.
No.
When it comes to, I'm coming, you will react to that. When it comes to this election and transparency and accountability, this is a government that is spending over $1 to ensure that tell Nigerians all these types of stories. At what point it's time for us to
No. Facts. Let me tell you why. I was going around my head, to remember the network of
and we were able to get reporters live from the field using network.
Thank God, you, thank God you said so. Me, in the last local government election, I was on Zoom network with you. We couldn't finish that conversation.
Because in your village, like you said, now that still comes back to what I
said. Why?
Isn't that boiling down to what I have said exactly earlier?
See.
When I said this makes us question what this government prioritizes, in the sense that if the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can cough out $9 million to lobby, to pay
to stable Nigeria,
foreign, not to stable Nigeria, to pay a foreign lobbying firm to, buy into the good graces of U.S. Congress and President Trump. Why can't the government, the same government, cough out the same amount of money to ensure that we have at least that real-time electronic results transmission is a success?
Why?
The same government, in fact, the office of the presidency. I don't want to go into facts.
No. I'm using facts.
That will trigger a lot of things among in the
No.
The office of the presidency in a year has spent 3 or 4 times that amount on travel alone.
No, what I'm saying is
on travel.
No, you're not saying that.
So I am beginning to question.
No. I am not saying. I'm not.
The Tinubu letter.
No. I am saying that let Tinubu administration. That's why I brought in Elemos. Let Tinubu administration take the entire budget for 8 years and provide network. That's what I'm saying. Provide Orange, bring ITT, bring Elemos. Is it Starcom or something? Bring them here and put in the listing. What I have said is that they are still human provision. They can cash. Now that's what I'm saying. It's just not about budget.
At the end of the day, we have seen countries of the world, both developed and underdeveloped countries, at least, where do real-time electronic transmission of results, and they were able to succeed. I'm saying this because a lot of times when we talk about democracy, we are very quick to quote, US practices democracy. How is it that we are unable to copy the things that US has practiced? Yes, there is no election without certain flaws.
I thought so.
I am coming there. There is no election without certain flaws.
Yes.
However, there are elections that are better than the others. Just like George Orwell's in Animal Farm says, all fingers are equal, but some are more equal than the others.
Yes.
Now, all elections have flaws, but there are certain elections that are more transparent than the others. So why can't Nigeria, that claim that they are copying democracy from the United States, copy at least real-time transmission of results from them? And why is the government cannot tell us that it's a network problem? Can one thing work in this government?
No.
I'm not saying.
I'm not leaving it.
Can one thing work in this government?
See.
So Tinubu should prove Nigeria.
You are using. It's not about Tinubu. I am saying Trump. I'm saying Trump, that network fails in US. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
my checks, regardless of whether network fails in US or not. Elections happen, don't they?
They do. So,
alright. When real-time result transmission happens.
See, in US, how many days do you have election?
How many days? So why can't we adopt that?
No, because you will also argue that they're doing it because they want to leak. What is it let me use this. What does, you talked about the budget of INEC, for instance. INEC operates on that day. I'm just using the minimum part of it. INEC operates on 128,000 units. Just think that what INEC pays their staff, their ad hoc staff is 10,000 naira. And INEC has how many? 3 in each of the units. So we're talking about 570,000 of 500,000 units. So 500,000 persons.
How is that a problem?
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
No, excuse me. You talked about, when people mention money, it looks like the money is too much. When you said they use almost $1 trillion, I'm just using that, assuming that what they pay those persons that comes there is 10,000 naira. Just calculating that 500,000 persons that they pay.
Right.
That's to tell you about the budget. But what I'm saying that if you provide an alternative, you are not saying that you're providing this alternative to rig. You are saying that you're providing this alternative that
the alternative has proven over time to have been one of the core.
I said they can link transmission.
Well, Nigerians want to try solely transmission.
I don't understand it. Like, not Nigerians. It's those, see, when people are, all of these people who are arguing these things, they were in government, and they never allowed that. Because when you face law, you see, one thing that happened one time, one of the things that brought in the doctrine of necessity was because we didn't have our law capture that transition, that smooth transition. On alternative, like in case this kind of thing happen, maybe it can be like this. This is in the event that the agency accepts, all the agents of the party accept that there's no transmission, then put it here. It is not the first hand, it is the alternative. Also, what's wrong in providing alternative? In a place where people can crash it, where people can go and shoot.
All right. Very well. You know, the thing is, I wish we had more time, Cheesy.
No, I'm ready.
I'm still going to. With this conversation, I should have started.
I said this conversation.
We'll continue this conversation again. But let it be known that when they say go to court, usually what is exploited in Nigerian constitution are lacunas. And that
in every constitution.
That is what PDP is saying. Saying, oh, passing real-time electronic transmission of results, and then adding what they call escape clause of manual transmission is simply undermining credibility of elections in 2027 at the end of the day. Now, you are making your argument from the angle that Nigeria is not yet ready for an entirely technology.
That's not what I said.
You're saying that the network.
No, I said in the world. I never said Nigeria is not yet ready.
If you say in the world, that's a very contestable position.
No, what I said is what I said all over
the world. It is purely you know that is very, very contestable.
No, what I said. Maybe I don't know what I said. What I said. The world. What I mean, all over the world.
That is crashing.
Network crashes all over the world.
Now, and interestingly, it's on our election day that network is going to crash.
Nobody says so. Nobody's praying so. But you will always give an opportunity should it happen.
Now, that's the thing. When we give an opportunity, we aren't ready to grow. Now, that is why I said.
No.
Easy, hold on.
No.
That's why.
Alternative is being.
Easy. That is why I said. Well, I think one of the problems we've had in this country is that we have been. Our humanity counts where it shouldn't count. And where we should be humane, we refuse to be humane. Now, because if you say alternative is being human, this is an alternative that we have used for the past 16 years of democracy, and we have not had one credible election in this country. Nigerians are saying, let us do only e-transmission. Let us even try. Let it be that it doesn't work. And if one is coming to say, oh, it is an issue of network, because of the huge traffic is going to crash.
Nobody says it's going to crash.
We are now saying,
I never said so.
For example, there will be network glitches.
There may be.
There may be network glitches.
So when that happens,
why can't Nigeria take proactive measures to prevent those network glitches?
We are more idealistic when we want to talk about Nigeria. Yesterday I was supposed to appear on this place. What happened? Because of your network, I didn't appear.
All right, very well.
Because you're human, and that's why I didn't kill you.
Cheesy, hold on.
You were supposed to pay me, because you are supposed to provide and know that this is a network period. It happens.
That is your opinion, but Nigerians are saying we are tired of manual transmission, and it is their right to say that. No matter how this argument is brought forward, even if we say, oh, it still boils down to, oh, the budget is going to be too heavy.
Nobody has said so.
It is taxpayers' money. The cost of governance in this country is mind-blowing. And the government prioritizes and pushes money into what Nigerians know.
No, I will not let you go there. I will not let you go. It's not about money that is missing. It is about the fact that people provide. Even when you go to hospital, anywhere in the world, they will say Nigeria have a way of saying that tomorrow the Nigerians will say, why didn't you provide alternative? When you go to hospital, they will say, when you have conducted a test, go and conduct another test. So let's see. Let's match it. all over the world.
Chizzy, we are going to continue this conversation.
Sure.
And I think that this is a conversation that...
I think it's not saying we don't have enough money to provide.
The ATM is going to hold conversation on this electoral reform every day until this bill is passed, because we need to have tough conversations.
Sure.
To look at whatever the Senate is going to present as possible reasons why there has to be, let me borrow PDP language, escape clause.
The same people that allow all escape clause, we didn't have authority before.
When that time comes, you still come back. You will have your time to drag PDP like you want. But
no, I am not dragging. It's not about Nigeria.
Happened in the past.
Let us inform them.
We are looking at
let us inform them. Let us inform them correctly.
We are looking at our now.
But your authority does not mean that you don't have it.
How do we get it right? And that is also one of the concerns of Nigerians. If our elected officers are doing right, why are they scared of free and fair?
They are not scared of free and fair elections. Tinubu will win anybody around now in free and fair election.
Chizzy, we'll continue this.
Tinubu will win Atiku in his house.
Chizzy will continue.
He has taken 2-3 persons from his house.
Chizzy,
so we know.
We will continue.
So it's not about election.
We'll continue this conversation.
Thank you.
In the coming week.
Thank you.
I look forward to having you next.
I am ready.
Come ready.
That is if your network here will allow you to.
No problem. Chizzy, come bearing facts. I checked. ATM does not operate on the budgets of federal government. Last time
it's a unit budget.
It does not operate
in their own unit budget too.
Operate on the
unit budget.
It does not operate on the budget. So
unit.
At the end of the day, the question Nigerians are asking is, what is the 10th Senate scared of?
They are not scared.
What is the presidency scared of?
Are you talking about 2031 election or this one that is gone?
Scared of?
Which party is contesting with president?
Why the
PDP is not contesting. Labour is not contesting. APC is not contesting. So why would you be afraid?
Nigerians are saying, if they have no contestants, it's just going to be them. Then they should just pass.
Providing a real-time CV that can crash in the world can stop our election.
I would say to a large extent, if the government cannot secure lives and properties, which is their primary.
They have secured the lives and properties in Nigeria.
They cannot.
The president is working so hard.
Do a lot of things that microeconomics is. Well, you're getting.
The president is working well.
We cannot. The government cannot give us one thing that Nigerians are insisting on right now. I mean,
Lord is just begging the issue.
Just begging the issue.
They're just begging it. They are not being real.
As we are rounding up, it also begs the prayers. What is the 10th Senate scared of?
They are not scared.
I'll have Chizzy next week. We are going to discuss this some more, and I hope that Chizzy comes with facts, that I come with facts on the government expenditure and how money is not going to be a problem if the government wants to run.
I have never said money will be a problem.
Election. Thank you very much, Chizzy, for coming.
Thank you. Money has never been a problem. They have given enough money to INEC.
Chizzy is noted.
Money is not a problem. They have given enough money.
Where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. Thank you so much to our viewers for always staying connected to us. I remain Laurentia Ugu. See you same time on Sunday. Bye for now.
Thank you.